Welcome to the Healthcare Revolution podcast, where we empower you to take control of your health, restore your trust in the medical system, and achieve lasting wellness. I am your host, Brad Powell, doctor of physical therapy and owner of an award-winning clinic here in the Salt Lake Valley. Each episode, we dive into all things rehab injury prevention, overall health, and bring you expert insights from leaders across various healthcare fields. Please note why we strive to provide you with the best knowledge and advice. The opinions shared represent those of the experts on this podcast and are not to replace professional medical advice. So let's revolutionize healthcare and wellness together. Today I have with me a good friend, Abi McBride.
Hello.
She has been in the community as a personal trainer. We're so excited to have her. Welcome.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate what you do for the community. I always tell people, Abi works at Burn Boot Camp down the street from one of our clinics. And I always tell people I'm so grateful for the trainers in our community. I don't think they get praised enough. And today we're going to be talking about good habits for the new year.
Yeah.
A lot of people are thinking about their fitness goals and getting back to the gym. And the biggest thing I see in the PT world is people get into the gym and then they overdo it. They get themselves hurt. They end up in our office and they just lose the momentum. So let's first talk about why would you want to set fitness goals in the first place?
I mean, goals are important, right? They help us achieve the things that we want to in life. I think goals get us to who we want to be and where we want to be. And sometimes they're small and sometimes they're big, but I think it's important to progress in life and to never be stagnant.
Yeah, I love it. We're going to talk about strategies of staying in the gym. We're going to talk about what do you do when you get hurt. We're going to talk about, different motivational strategies to get really pumped and stay consistent. But those are kind of the big things that we're going to talk about today. So talking about why healthy habits, I pulled up some stats here I thought was really interesting. So I'm curious about what your thoughts are. But why would you set goals? You kind of hit on the head, but improve mental health, right? So this was a study from Harvard, and it said that regular exercise reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety by 47%.
Wow.
And this was a meta-analysis. This is the top level research, right? Yeah. Enhance physical health. The CDC reports that at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise activity weekly reduces risk for chronic diseases, heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers by 20 to 30%. Another study suggests that increased longevity, that people who regularly exercise live 3 to 4 years longer. Some people want to live longer, maybe not some others.
Maybe.
And then improved productivity. This is a huge one for employers. This was a study from a Journal of Occupational Environmental Medicine that found that employees who regularly exercise are 15% more productive at work.
Wow.
So
that's incredible.
Yeah, pretty cool. Tell me your thoughts on, some of these stats.
Yeah, that first one really stuck out to me when we incorporate health and fitness into our routine, that mental side of it. A lot of people don't associate the mental health with physical workouts.
Yeah.
And I personally have noticed that in my own life. I mean, I'm a single mom. I'm working basically full time and I have a lot of stress in my life, but the moments that I get myself to the gym and move my body, even as simple as a walk, can be so beneficial to my mental health. And so I think people discount that a lot.
Absolutely.
So that one really stuck out to me.
What is it in your experience? What is people that experience depression, anxiety that you see in the gym? What's kind of their first go-to before exercise?
I think they try to numb themselves, whether that's through sitting on the couch and scrolling on their phone or eating or whatever their coping mechanism is. It's not movement.
Yeah.
It's stagnant. It's stationary.
Yeah. And then one of the biggest things I see in my world is people try to mask it with medication too. It's that's the first go-to here in the United States is let's get you medicated.
Yeah.
But just by this study alone, a meta-analysis is thousands of people.
Yeah.
47% decrease just with anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
If you're consistently in the gym, if you're consistently exercising, people don't see results right off the bat, right? It takes time. But there's a huge dopamine hormone release when you exercise.
Yeah.
So tell me your overall thoughts on barriers that people face. You see this every day in the gym. What are things that people say that are barriers to getting there in the first place?
I mean, you've heard everything in the book, right? Time, no one has enough time to work out. I think people think they have to have an hour to 2 hours to be in the gym, and you can really be effective in 30, 45 minutes if you want to be, or if you find the place that has that
I
option.
love that about Burn Boot Camp. The minute you walk in there, man, I get exhausted going to that place because the minute it hits 1 o'clock and you're going,
It's
and
45
it's like
minutes.
you get done with the warm up, and they're like, "That was the warm up," and you're like, "I thought that was the workout."
Yeah, no, for sure. People do the warm up. They're like, "Can I go home now?"
Yes, for sure.
But like, we don't mess around at Burn Boot Camp. Like, you have 45 minutes because we want you to know that it's an effective workout, and it doesn't have to take that much time.
Yeah.
You can have fun doing it too. So I think the fun atmosphere, people walk into a gym intimidated, and that's another barrier. People don't know what to do. So having a place where you feel safe to be instructed by somebody or to not injure yourself, I think is another barrier that people come across is they don't know. They don't know how to work out or what is effective for their body or their body style. And so it stops them from coming because they'd just rather not do anything than to learn it.
Yeah.
So
I've kind of heard this term that Burn Boot Camp uses, the blue carpet experience.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the blue carpet experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. The blue carpet experience starts when you walk in the door. We have someone at the front desk who greets you with a high five. We want you to know that you belong there, whether it's your first day to fitness or your 100th day of fitness. Like, it doesn't matter to us.
Have you seen just that one tool be effective for people committing to the gym early on?
People want to be seen.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to be seen, whether it's in the fitness world or not. You want to be seen for who you are. And when you're greeted with that smile and that high five, people notice you right away. And sometimes that's intimidating, but you at least get acknowledged, and people love to be acknowledged. And so from the very get-go, people are like, "Oh, they want me here."
Yeah.
And then it just translates onto the floor. We bring you in, we give you a space to put your stuff down, and then we introduce you to the trainer, and the trainer then kind of gets to know why you're there, what your goals are, kind of what you're expecting.
It gives a chance for them to kind of be customized, right? I sent my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law hasn't really been in the gym a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I think you were the one that helped her.
Yeah.
And you did this very thing and assessed where she was, and you were able to adapt the workout to her to what she needed, right?
Yeah.
And you have 20 to 30 people, but you know who's new, and you know their fitness background a little bit, and then you adjust things according to what they need.
Absolutely. We ask about injuries. We want you to know that we have a workout for you regardless of where you're at. We have modifications, we have challenges. We can push you and challenge you a little bit more. We can tone it back, and you can still get a great workout in those 45 minutes. So it's everything. Then we spend 45 minutes with you, right? We spend 45 minutes with you on that floor, and we do exactly what you ask us to do. We train you, we give you a good workout. And one of the things that Burn prides ourselves on is a one-on-one workout in a group setting. So you have that community around you cheering you on, giving you those high fives. You're a part of something bigger than yourself for 45 minutes. And then we send you out the door hoping to see you back and expecting you back. We ask people to stay. We want you to know again that you're welcome and that we don't want to forget you.
Yeah, I love that. Tell me about how the community really matters with helping people develop good habits.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I've seen it a lot, especially lately. We've had a lot of new faces in South Jordan come in, and the community has taken to them, and they're to a point now where they like text each other to go to breakfast, and they are meeting outside of the gym because they've become friends. I mean, when you work hard together with somebody, it builds a bond that you can't build anywhere else.
Absolutely.
And so when you work as hard as you do, and you do that next to somebody, and then you congratulate them and they congratulate you, like, there's just a bond that can't be broken.
My buddies text me all the time. He's like, "Dude, why haven't you been to the gym? Where you been, man?" And I'm like, I feel like this accountability, to this community, because the thing is, you just like you said, you work out hard you do hard things with people, and it bonds you, right? And that's what I love about these group fitness programs is the 9:30 class, they all go together. The 5:30 class, they're all there at the same time. And what's interesting is, I go to the 5:30 class, and those guys and gals, they work out so hard and they are in the same situation as me. A lot of them have young kids.
Yeah.
A lot of them are working. Some are business owners, right? So there's so much in common too.
Right.
So you develop these people that just truly understand you, and then they hold you accountable. They care about you as well. And it just makes this meaningful difference. And then eventually you're going for the community.
Yeah.
You know, at first you're just going for a good workout, and then all of a sudden you're like, now I got friends.
Yeah, absolutely. We've heard a lot of people say, I came for the workouts and I stayed because of the people.
I love it. Tell me about any tips you have for just overcoming gym anxiety or feeling intimidated, you know, especially for beginners that haven't really gone to an exercise class. They're just worried about walking in and looking dumb.
Yeah.
You know, tell me about some tips that you have for that.
I mean, I remember being in that position. I wasn't always in the fitness world. I mean, I was always active, but stepping into a gym myself was really intimidating 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to lift weights properly. And then I saw all these strong people around me and I didn't want to look dumb in front of them. So I would just
Which is so wild because I see you now and you're like lifting heavy weights and just doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
But with
very confident in the world. Like, that's so awesome.
It's definitely given me a space to thrive, which I love.
And to know you weren't always there is so crucial. So tell me about some of the feelings that you had and how you got through that.
I think one, community. I mean, we talked about that before, but I stepped into Burn because I knew somebody who was there, and I felt safe around them, and so I trusted them with my workouts and being there and having a safe place for me. And then I started in American Fork actually at the Burn down there, and then I transferred up to the South Jordan location. And I walked in and I was like, I don't know anybody. This is not what I want to do. So I almost left. But again, going back to Burn, we welcomed you in and I got welcomed in. I got my arm put around me and I got taken to that floor and then I met people. And so I think one, just try. I mean, if I had any advice to give to somebody, try just one class, one camp, something. Find what you love, because Burn may not be for everybody. CrossFit may not be for everybody. You may love yoga. You may love Pilates. You may love high fitness. It doesn't matter, but you're never going to know until you try. Yeah. And so I think for me, if I had any advice to say, just go, try one. And if you don't like it, you don't have to go back. Yeah. And if you're not feeling how you want to feel, go try something different until you find what you love and then stick with it.
One of the things that we really pride ourselves in and really work hard to do is know all the trainers in the area. And it's for that very thing you're talking about. Yeah. It's that Burn might not be for everyone. CrossFit might not be for everyone. Yoga might not be for everyone, but find something that you truly love to do. Yeah. And that happens to be moving your body. Yeah. Some people love dance. Some people love Pilates. And you know, it's part of our role as physical therapists to build that bridge from rehab to what's your next fitness goal. Yeah. You know, as much as I love to see you in PT, I don't want you to get injured. I want you to stay healthy, right? So I want to build that bridge to a gym, to a trainer, to some sort of exercise routine that's not just our home program. Yeah. You know, and it's really changed the way we practice a lot. Absolutely. About some strategies that you use to make fitness a priority. You're a mom, single mom. Yeah. Like, you got a lot on your plate. How do you make sure fitness stays a priority? And what are some tips that you have for that?
Don't be too hard on yourself. I think sometimes we think we have to work out 6 times a week, 7 times a week for it to like show any sort of results or like make a difference. But I think if we need a day because of our mental health, because we're sore from the workout before, like, it's okay to take a rest day. And I think people underestimate a rest day, but it's okay. Like, and
a rest day doesn't have to be sitting on the couch, right?
Yeah. It can be a walk. It can be even just like going outside and enjoying the fresh air and like, I don't know, walking your dog or taking your kids.
And sometimes just doing something different, right? Yeah. Going on a bike ride or go for a swim, like switch it up.
With your kid, yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be physical exercise for it to be movement.
Yeah, which is so wild because, you know, a lot of places in the world don't even carve out an hour of their day to exercise. It's actually built into their community. They're walking everywhere. Yeah. Like, they exercise all day long. Yeah. We exercise for 45 minutes to an hour and we think, oh, we're good. And then we'll go sit for 10 hours. Yeah. You know, and it doesn't really, you know, correct what's happened. Right. You know, I'd love to develop a community where we're just regularly moving all day long. I know that's hard with our society now, but the most important thing is like, just move. Yeah. You know, it doesn't have to be the same workout routine you always do.
Right.
I love that.
Or if you work out in the morning and you're sitting at a desk all day, take a lap around the building,
Mm-hmm.
take a lap around your house, like go upstairs and make yourself some lunch or whatever. Like that enough is movement to get out of the 8 hours of sitting at a desk.
Yeah. I had a colleague in another company reach out to me. He's like, dude, do you have your meetings sitting? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, why don't you just like go for a walk and have a meeting when you're walking? I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah.
You know, like let's walk and talk.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no reason to have a meeting just sitting here,
Yeah.
you know, desk to desk. Like we take our notes that we need to talk about and we go on a walk, you know, go around these neighborhoods and chat as we're having a meeting. And it's been meaningful for sure.
Good. I love that.
Tell me about maybe some real life examples of just clients you've worked with that have successfully built a long-term fitness habit and some of the things that they had to face along the way.
I have a couple come to mind, but I had one who came to Burn about 3 months ago, and she was the shyest person I think I've ever talked to. She didn't really want to tell me why she was there. Her friend brought her in. She kind of hid behind her friend, very intimidated by the gym. And she's never worked out before in her life. And she was like, that was the hardest thing I think I've ever done afterwards. And I was like, okay, but you did it. And it, like, how good do you feel that you just spent 45 minutes for yourself? And then she came back and she kept coming back. And now she's 3-4 months in and she's like, Abby, I will never not come. This has become such a priority for me that it's changed my whole life, my mental health, my physical health. I feel better. I can do things with my kids. Like I will come every single day. And I'm like 3 months. That's all it took for her. But she is a completely different person from the day she stepped in those doors to today. And even today, I saw her this morning and she's like, man, I just love coming here. The people are great. You're great. Like, I just love how I feel when I come here. And so I'm like, it was great. I said, thank you for giving us a chance and never giving up on us because it does take time to see results. It takes time to like see what you want to, but she sticks out in my mind because she's prioritized herself for 45 minutes a day and it's made all the difference. She's finding herself again, which I love.
Tell me about the board you guys have up on the wall. I think it says 250, 150. Tell us about that.
So we have what we call our Keep Moving Club, and we track how many times you come to camp every year. And when you hit 50, you get to sign the wall. When you hit 100, you
what
get to sign the wall.
What does that do for people?
I mean, it gives them a goal, right? We started this off talking about goals. People look at that 250, they're like, people actually hit that? I actually had a member this morning. She hit 300 camps this year. Yeah. And she
365 days, she hit 300.
I mean, she didn't miss. And she took a picture and she's like, my 5:30 crew, because she comes at 5:30 in the morning. She's like, they got me here. They told me to not give up and to hit my goal. And she's like, I walked into Burn the first day thinking people actually come 250 days out of the year. Yeah. She's like, but now I'm that person.
Yeah,
and
she
I love
totally
it.
Gets it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a drug, right? You become addicted to it. But it's such a good drug, right? Yeah. You're literally feeding your body health and goodness, you know, and you're getting that dopamine release. You're building your muscles, building your heart, building your lungs, building your brain. Yeah. Like there's just no downfall to it.
Absolutely.
Well, give me some advice for someone that's worried about being pushed too hard in the gym by a trainer.
Yeah, I would say address that. I mean,
I talk to your trainer about it.
Yeah, talk to him. Be honest. Like if you're really scared of that, or like I've had people say to me, like, I'm really nervous about getting injured. I'm like, great, try this. Try it once or twice. And if it's not feeling great or you feel uncomfortable, please let me know. I'll give you something different, something that moves the same muscle, the same same style, but maybe we take out a plyometric movement. Maybe we go down in weight. Maybe we just do body weight and get the form before we add a weight. I mean, there's ways to combat that fear before we just like go full in and then get injured.
Yeah, I love it. That's great advice. I mean, I think the fears that people have about getting in the gym, if they just communicated to the people involved, like, hey, I'm worried about this. Yeah. You know, that's what a trainer is for.
Absolutely.
Is to overcome barriers. Like if you're worried about something, or we do our best to keep people in the gym as they're injured, right? So we work with trainers to say, hey, this person's coming back to the gym. They have a wrist injury. Just be aware of that. We're just worried about them putting weight into the wrist. Yeah. And you guys modify everything for them, right? Yeah. And that's so incredible because we keep people there. We keep them going, keeping them on their habits.
Yeah.
But if people are worried about like, oh, my trainer is going to tell me to go into push-up position and they're going to force me to do it. Like, do you guys ever do that?
No.
First of all?
No, sometimes I'll yell across the room like, hey, do this. And they're like, but my shoulder. I'm like, oh yeah, just kidding. You're fine. Like,
Yeah.
just take it easy. Like, make sure that your shoulder feels good. I don't ever want someone to feel in pain because I'm trying to challenge them. I would much rather them stay there and do a body weight or a modification.
Yeah, in my mind, there's two roles while
Yeah.
you're there. One is to challenge them.
Absolutely.
And two is to motivate them.
Absolutely.
Right? And sometimes if you're at 30 people and you forget like, oh my gosh, they have an ankle injury,
Right.
it's really helpful for them to say, oh yeah, I want to remind you about my ankle.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, I totally forgot, right?
Totally.
But your job is to push them. That's
Yeah.
why they're paying you.
Yeah.
Is to challenge them and to get them excited, keep that hype up. Just so critical.
Yeah. I think one of the things that we have on our wall is the word empower. And I love that word because it's meeting people where they are. It's meeting people with what they need at that moment. And that moment is a moment. I mean, I suffered from a calf injury a while ago, but I still stayed. I had to modify everything, and being where I'm at, like, that was so frustrating because I knew what I was capable of.
Yeah.
But I took the time to like let it heal and to stay in the gym. And now I'm back to even bigger and better things.
And you didn't stop the habit, right? You kept blood flow going. When people are injured and they stay in the gym, we see their recovery times drastically, like almost in half sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you got so much blood flow going, they're excited, they're, get those endorphins, and it just helps in recovery.
Yeah.
So we love keeping people in the gym. Tell us how to shift your mindset around exercise from having to I get to. A lot of people, even with nutrition, it's like, I'm going to go exercise so I can eat this, right? But let's just talk about like, I have to go to the gym versus I get to go to the gym. Tell me your thoughts about that.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is a quote that I heard one time. It was like, pick your hard. Okay, so a workout may feel hard, but like so is a chronic illness.
Yeah.
That's also hard. An injury is a hard thing to have to endure, but like so is finding a challenging workout or moving your body, like, or getting to the gym, whatever that looks like. And so I think pick your hard, right? Our bodies are like the vehicle that we get to do life through. And just like a car, like if you don't take care of your car is going to break on you, right?
Yeah.
So if we don't maintain our body, whether that's through movement or through food, proper food to like sustain us, it's going to fail on us. It's going to have its complications. It's going to have its challenges. And so I think pick your hard.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. Any other kind of quick, like simple habits to incorporate today to help people like stay in the gym? Any other advice on that?
Two things. One, start small. I think sometimes we get advice from the experts and it feels overwhelming. Break it down.
Yeah.
Like pick one thing to work on, get really good at it for 2 weeks, and then add to it. I think sometimes we get this overwhelming. Like sometimes I sit down with somebody and I'm like, get 100 grams of protein. They're like, how am I supposed to
I'm
do
getting
that?
like 10 now.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, you can't just drink 10 protein shakes to get 100 grams of protein.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, focus on your breakfast. What can you do for breakfast to get
Small,
20 grams
things.
of protein?
Yeah.
Because then you're well on your way. But if you just hear 100 grams of protein, like it's so intimidating to think I can't get there. I'm not sure how to get there, or I don't know what I'm supposed to be eating to get 100 grams. Like I don't know what foods have protein in them.
Absolutely.
So start small.
On that sense, I love the thought of eliminating barriers, right? So you even talked about people not knowing, how much protein. We even have a handout for people. Like, here is a list of highly dense proteins, right?
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, I'm just going to drink 10 protein shakes. It's like, well, that's supplemental.
Right.
Let's get some good quality, wholesome protein first.
Yeah.
And then we'll supplement from there.
Yeah.
But sometimes eliminating those barriers and asking for help.
Yeah.
Like, who can help me with this?
Yeah.
Right. And, asking your trainer, like, hey, what are some good proteins that I can eat?
Yeah.
Right. Because this eliminating that barrier alone. Another barrier that I see you guys do really well at is you have child watch, right? All these moms are like, I can't get childcare, right?
Yeah.
That's it's included in their package, if I remember right.
Absolutely.
Right? They can get childcare. Their kids can play in there.
Yep.
One time my daughter was helping watch the other kids. It's part of. She was getting a pay from my wife, but it was giving her a job.
Right.
But then also allowed for my wife to go work out.
Yeah.
But those eliminating those barriers has been super crucial for me. I know.
Yeah. No, I just think it's important just to start. I mean, I think especially, here's my plug for Burn, right? Like I want you in the gym, whether you have no idea what you're doing or you're a D1 athlete. Like I have a brother who plays football for BYU, and he went to Burn for a couple months and got his butt handed to him. And he's like, man, what you guys do is hard. We have Missy Franklin.
So you did all of his conditioning before football.
Yeah.
I love it.
We have Missy Franklin, who works out in the Midwest or back East, Olympic athlete. And it's like, it doesn't matter where you are. We want you on the floor. We want you to come in and to have a space where you can be you and you can thrive and be the best version of you.
Yeah. Tell us about the deals that you guys do regularly for people that the barrier might be cost.
Yeah.
Like what are some deals that you guys do on a regular basis?
We have promos about 3 times a year, and we're actually running one right now. It's 30 days for $59. It's the best deal I've ever seen Burn do. I've never seen this promo go that low.
Get in there and try it out.
Yeah, especially coming into that new year. Everyone wants to get back to the gym, right? They want to start January 1 and they want to just like hit the ground running. Come try us for a month. $59 to spend on you for a month. You get unlimited camps. You get that child watch that you were talking about, and you get a chance to sit down with the trainer and ask your questions that you have, or like debunk those myths that you've maybe heard online, and give us a chance to show you what we're all about, I think is what I would put in there.
Tell me about what advice would you have for someone that say they're coming into the gym, they get hurt. We've worked together in the past. Like what's your comments to them?
Yeah. I always say, I'm so sorry. I know how frustrating an injury can be, and like how difficult it is to kind of figure out how to stay or like how to rehab or how to get back. But I always tell them, don't leave. I say, please come back. Give me a chance to give you a workout that's modified for you.
Yeah.
And I just try to like reassure them and give them all of the confidence in the world that they can still do it even if they're injured.
Yeah.
And then I always refer them back to you. I'm like, and I have a really good friend, Brad. Brad's going to take care of you. He's going to help get you that rehab you need and to stay here. So if that's what you want, like here are a couple things that you can do.
Yeah. This is my big plea to the healthcare community is we have to do our part in healthcare to keep people in the gym.
Yeah.
Right. This is what's going to prevent chronic disease. This is what's going to prevent long-term disability. Right. You keep people exercising. The minute we take them out, it's literally saying, don't do the good things. Right. But if we build a bridge and we have a good relationship, and I know Abby in the gym, and Abby says, you got an injury, why don't you go over to Foundation, or why don't you go to any physical therapist, and I can connect you to a physical therapist. That way you can have your injury treated, and we'll stay in the gym at the same time, and we'll work together collaboratory in helping you overcome this injury, and then beyond that too.
Absolutely.
Like I really wish all of us would work together like that, and that's what we're really striving for, is to get us to work together as a team. That's what the healthcare revolution's about. This podcast is getting us all to work together in a collaboratory experience, so that way the client, the patient, whoever they are, they can develop, get back to all the things they love to do and thrive in that way.
Absolutely. I think one of the other words we use at Burn a lot is transform. Yeah. And we can't transform when we're staying stagnant. Well,
tell me about the frustration that you have when, a healthcare provider says, stop going to the gym.
It drives me nuts, to be honest, because it's a generalized prescription. It's not personalized. And I think, especially at Burn, we take the time to get to know the individuals, the members, like you guys do here. And so when you can personalize something for a client, a member, then they feel like they can do it, and they're not just regressing and they're losing out on all of the hard work that they've put in up until that point. Yeah. People work so hard, especially when they do commit, and then to have to stop for 4 to 6, 8 weeks, like that's very frustrating. So I think if we can give them something individualized to their journey, it helps them to stay.
Yeah, I absolutely believe in that wholeheartedly. I just had 2 patients today. One just had a shoulder surgery, really intense shoulder surgery. Yeah. And then she actually goes to your gym, and I told her, I said, no, you stay in the gym. Yeah. Right? Here's some parameters to think about. Right. Right? Keep that sling on when you're working out. Yeah. But you can move. We'll adjust the jumping. Maybe let's not do plyometrics. Right. We make it very clear of what we're not going to do. Yeah. But then we focus our time and energy on what you can do.
Yeah,
And let's
absolutely.
build this. I'll work with your trainer. We'll kind of talk about, the things that you can and can't do, but you have to have an active role in this too.
Yeah.
Go to your trainer and say, these are the things that I want or I can do.
Yeah.
Right. And focus on those.
Absolutely.
Right. But there's nothing worse than pulling that person out of the gym. I just barely had a guy here. He's a power lifter. And he's like, when can I go back to the gym? Like, you should have already been back to the gym.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You did have a patella reconstruction. Right. But there's so many things you can do at the gym.
Right.
You've built such good, healthy habits. Let's get you back there today.
Yeah.
But let's set some really intense parameters of where you can't go.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
then expand on where we can go.
Absolutely. I think it's that restrictive versus growth mindset, right? When we eliminate the gym or we eliminate those habits that we've been
Absolutely.
doing for so long, I don't know, it's that restrictive. I can't. And then we get on this mental decline of, man, I'm out of it. I don't feel as good as I used to. I can't wait to be back or whatever. And instead of, I'm capable of still doing this, or I am allowed to do this and I want to do this, or that growth can continue whether you have that injury or not. It's that restrictive versus growth mindset.
Absolutely. Any other kind of last thoughts on, building sustainable habits and staying in the gym, sticking with the routine, working through injury? Any kind of last thoughts on those things?
Don't be afraid to have fun. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but it kind of goes back to the point I made earlier. Find what you love. Fitness is supposed to be fun. Moving our bodies is supposed to be fun. Whether you do it with a community, by yourself, whether it's strength, whether it's cardio, I don't care. I just want you to have fun and find something that makes you happy. I mean, as much as I love for everybody to come to burn, I think it's important to find what you love, do what you love, find what works for you, and then ask questions. If you don't know, if you're curious, stay curious. Always be learning, always be pushing yourself to get better or to try new things.
Yeah, and I hope everyone that listens to this can understand that exercise is for everyone.
Yeah.
No matter if you are a grandma or a new mom or, you've never been to the gym before, you don't have to follow the mold of everyone else.
Yeah.
Just find something you love and try something new.
Absolutely.
This is the perfect time of year when most gyms out in the community are offering some deals.
Yeah.
Right? This is the perfect time to go try something out. And even if it's not the beginning of the year, most of the time, every gym will offer some sort of free first class.
Yeah.
Where you can just go try it out.
Yeah.
Right? And what a great new time to just explore
Absolutely.
and try something new. And who knows, you might like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't, like you said, doesn't have to be January 1, right? Everyone thinks I have to start new year, new me.
Yeah.
But if it's March, get there. Find your time to start. And it's never too late to start investing in yourself.
I love it. Well, thank you for joining us today, Abby.
Thanks,
we
Brad.
appreciate deeply what you do for the community.
Thank you.
What you're doing for these people is really sustainable, right? I see people in clinic and they graduate and go on.
Yeah.
You see them ongoing.
Yeah.
And that's really where the magic happens, is when we're consistent, disciplined, and it's something we do every single day and part of our lifestyle. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thanks
Thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate you, Brad.